Hi, and welcome to Hangout 137. It is October 21st, and we are under a new federal government. And it's Small Business Week, and it's Back to the Future Day. So it's just a whole bunch of excitement, including some Android stuff. So tonight there's Martin,
Hey.
Ryan,
Hey.
and I guess because Savon isn't here, I'm the one that gets to have no lower third. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm Cass, and together we are Android Coliseum. Well, us and a bunch of other people.
Apparently.
Like we're the ones you'll see on screen. So let's start with some news. Interesting, BlackBerry's really making a push. And Martin, you've had some hands-on time, or you're just...
I've had some hands-on time. I've seen it. BlackBerry Priv. Everybody knows about it. It's everywhere. BlackBerry did something very interesting. Is they've brought in their hub feature that you've all seen used on BlackBerries, and it's going to be fun to be using it on a BlackBerry device. Now, I'm not sure about the slide-out keyboard. I'm not a fan of it personally. Could get rid of it. On screen is fine. That's just me. But for the fans out there, it will be. It is available pre-order on Rogers right now, but it has a nice little price tag to it. So better take your wallets out, dish out your money, and just enjoy it.
So what is the price?
I don't have the price, but it's going to be hefty.
Well, phones are expensive now for the high-end ones.
It's definitely
Sure.
going to be on the higher end scale of things. I mean, we're probably looking at $699.
And how much memory does it have on board?
I haven't checked the specification to be honest,
I want to say it
but
was,
I think they have a 32, 60, and 64 gig model available.
Okay. Well, at least they're not trying for the 16 gig model.
Now that'd be kind of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. At that price point, for sure.
Definitely. So nope, I'm mostly interested just for the BlackBerry interface that they're going to have on Android. I could care less what else the phone has personally.
Well, and speaking of phones, Ryan, there was a poll this week about whether you buy or buy outright.
I mean, this is something I know I've been very interested in a long time, and I really sort of become the evangelist for don't go into a contract if you don't need to. Buy your phone if you can afford it. And so Rob actually wrote a really nice article the other day about basically like myself and many other people always once they know that you know about phones. So what phone should I get? I think I need to get a new phone, and so he was talking about one of the options or what somebody should take a look at. And again, can you get it off contract? Can you get it on contract? And so just go around the table. I think we know what the answers are going to be around here. Martin, your phone breaks tomorrow. Would you buy a new phone, or would you go to buy the phone outright somewhere, or would you go to the plant and try to get a subsidized plan?
I'm already on a subsidized plan, and if my phone actually does break, it's only $150 for me to replace it with whichever phone I want next.
Okay, I got the thing. So let's say you were out of contract and your phone breaks. What would you do?
Depends if I have money on hand.
It's a valid point, right? Because who really has the big old money? Well, Cass has the big old money, as we'll talk later, and bought the phone that she wants to get and didn't have to worry about contract, etc. So we all Cass some sort of opinion on that. And Cass, why did you go buy this one instead of going to take a look at getting a plan?
Well, in Alberta, we do still get that bring your own device plan, and it is $30 a month less than for the S6. So it really, I did the math, it was cheaper. It was cheaper to buy now than it would be to buy it outright from Bell or actually, subsidize it. So.
And that's what I always tell people is sit down and do that math. Do that math. There's no point in just, well, I need a new phone. I hear they're going to give me a free phone if I sign this contract with that carrier over there. So, and I used to see that all the time. I need a new phone. I need a free phone. Well, just sign this to your Oh, whatever, sure, whatever. I just know it's a free phone, and not realizing they're paying $40, $50 a month or whatever, right? So I know personally I'm on one of those little promotional plans that sort of has expired now. I'm beyond my contract. if my phone were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't be going because I know personally, I know to get that contract I have to go and pay more per month. So I would definitely look at it too. I'm going to keep my current plan and buy the phone I want. I know it'd be cheaper in the end, personally, because beyond the 2 years, you're still keeping that plan beyond the 2 years, right? I'm still paying for a phone plan that had a subsidy built in, and now that that subsidy's gone, I'm still paying the same price, right? So in the end, you really have to do that math, and it may be different depending if you have regional pricing, etc. But one of the we talked about, so people who buy their phones or buy it on contract, one of the nice advantages of doing this, where you can buy it outside of the carriers or buy them outright, is the opportunity for being unlocked. And I know we've talked about this many times here.
Yep.
The opportunity to have an unlocked phone for any carrier. So if you decide to switch carriers, or if you do mobile roaming in the States, that you can buy a SIM or all that kind of stuff. It just makes it so much easier in the long run. Anyways, I won't proselytize that buy outright option anymore. But the simple fact is, really sit down and don't get a carrier's opinion, because they're going to tell you just what.
Of course. And it will obviously make a difference if you're a world traveler. So if you travel often, highly recommend not buying a phone from a carrier. Buy it unlocked
absolutely not.
from a place like GearBest or whatever else, wherever you want to get it, or even expensive, and get yourself an unlocked phone for whatever price, and you'll never have issues going around the world. And Cass is right, dual SIM. Dual SIM will work a lot for people. If you travel, that's the best.
Yeah. So just to back to the poll, about 74% of the people that are taking the pulse part said they buy their phones unlocked. I think that's a little skewed to our demographic. I mean, those who read this site tend to be that little more savvy sense, but at the same time, I think it's definitely that's coming more and more to the prevalence. Like 3 years ago, when I'd go on a trip to the States, people weren't talking about, I don't know if I got coverage or not. Now people are like, oh no, I paid the extra $50 to get my phone unlocked so I can get it for mobility shit or whatever while I'm down. So it's definitely some people are definitely now becoming more present in mind for.
And that you can also get them at places like Staples, right? Like you walk into Staples, they've got phones that are little black slabs, they're unlocked, and they're really reasonable price. So I think that really opens people's eyes to that possibility, because it is something you still want to touch.
Yep.
So, anyways, next topic.
Okay, so we've all decided that we would buy. And speaking of things to buy, Nexus devices are out now, and I believe they're shipping, but they are not quick charge. The regular quick charge 2. So Ryan, you read about that.
Yeah, so I'm just pulling up this article that I read on Droid Life the other day, and it was talking about, which is funny because they come packed with the Qualcomm chips, the 810 and the 808, I believe, for the two chips for the 5X and 6P. But here we are, Kellex over at Droid Life was saying that some of the current Quick Charge 2.0 chargers aren't working with those devices. So he actually does a really good rundown of a bunch of rapid chargers. So Samsung, Motorola's Turbo Power, Motorola's Turbo Power 25, Oki Power Bank. Those one they charge them all. They will charge, but it was not saying it's rapid charging, or wouldn't say it's rapid charging. The OnePlus adapter did say charging rapidly, which is weird because if that's just the OnePlus One, not the OnePlus 2. There's a TronSmart that did work, and then he lists a bunch of other ones that he tried a bunch, and he shows a bunch of different GSM battery tests where saying that's okay. Here's ones that did and didn't. So I just found that kind of interesting that some of these are not working properly. You would think, and I remember doing my own research on quick charge, and it's at the time it was like quick charge is rapid charge is turbo charge is that's all, as long as it's on that 18 watts of power, it'll do that if your phone is compatible. So with this one, it's looking at, I don't know, is that a glitch? Is it an error? Is it something else up? So I'm just seeing now some of the people in some of my Google Plus stream are starting to get their 5X or 6G now. So if you do have it out there and you're trying it out, let us know which ones are working, which ones aren't.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting because I would imagine there are some slightly different, like some slight differences that that will come up, especially now that Samsung has the really fast charge, and everybody wants their phones to charge quickly if they're not going to have those big batteries.
Once you start doing rapid charge, it is kind of a sin to go away.
Well, I'll be experiencing that.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And you get the best of what you have, not only just rapid charging, you have QI and PMA charging.
Mm-hmm.
I should just send you some of these pucks I have that I no longer can use.
Yes, please do.
So.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, Bell. Bell got fined for fake Play Store reviews. I don't even know if people that just seems so crazy to me.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, they got fined for it. I don't think the app is actually available anymore. And yeah, it just seems like one of those things. I read it, I laughed, and no one's going to get rich off of this.
Of course not.
But, no one's going to get rich back. But yeah, it just goes to show that you have to really watch some of those reviews.
Well, another thing is I found it funny is because if you watch Marketplace as well, I watched CPC Marketplace, and they did a big actual expose thingy on where they made up a fake company, like a fake food truck, and they went to go to these PR companies. The PR companies like, oh yeah, because technically it's semi-illegal to make fake reviews online, right? Or to be a PR to make a fake profile to make. And essentially, that's what these people were offering. Oh yeah, well we can get your Google Plus ratings, and you'll have all these profiles and 5-star reviews. And sure enough, within a couple weeks, they started getting all these reviews on their site. Oh, this is the greatest sandwiches in the world, da 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 da, and it does not exist. And they didn't get shut down. They didn't get booted or fined or whatever. Bell puts a couple fakies. And then how many times have you looked in the place and I've seen fake reviews? Usually from some Asian countries, but
of course,
and nobody says
wow.
But then again, Bell, you're a mobility company, you should know fucking better.
Well, no kidding, and it's not like they don't have a lot of customers that could do that. All they have to do really is sort of mention it in their billing or whatever.
Yeah, they send you those text messages now and again.
Oh, sure.
There's all those preloaded apps anyways. Like, how many other things do you need? Anyways.
Yes.
It's kind of funny.
Ton crap of it.
Well, and moving on, I did get an S6. I bit the bullet. I got tired of my Sony. I got tired of random things going wrong and annoying me. And the latest one was the camera. I'm taking this course on livable cities, and I wanted to take a panorama of something, and it was just brutally difficult. And I don't know why, because when I went home and tried to do a panorama, it was like, oh, this is just like I would expect. But when I was trying to take it, no. And then the amount of times I had gone to use my phone and people couldn't hear me on the other end and all this stuff and all this constant rebooting. So I did get an S6. I did buy it off Expanses. I have a $5 off coupon if somebody wants it. Although $5 off at Expanses is not getting you a heck of a lot.
Not even shit.
I got 64 gig storage, and the thing I liked about Expanses is it really did take the guesswork out of which model to buy, because they say right in there which networks, which carriers are supported. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I did figure out that it was less to purchase online, even with shipping, than it would be to purchase outright through Bell. So that was that story. It came with earbuds.
Earbuds.
Wow. Actually, quite nice one. And a fast charge for Europe. and cable and the phone. So
What accessories are you going to get for your S6 first?
well, I did get a case. Let's see, what kind of case was that?
Clear one there? Or?
Yeah, I got a Spigen hard clear hybrid crystal.
Yep, best thing ever.
And it is really nice feeling. It's not really sticky, but it's also not really slidey. It's very clear. Doesn't add a lot of size to the device. And then I also got one of these Oki USB turbo car chargers.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So it's a 2-in-1 because we do have.
That too. Let me know if you like it.
Yeah. Well, I don't drive very far, so I'm probably not going to use it till Christmas. But I figured since there's two of us and two phones that could possibly get charged, and this one I think has one that is a fast charge and one that is not. And since we have an iPhone getting charged and it doesn't need that fast charge at all, then that gets the slow charge version.
You gotta love our phones.
Well, it's a work device because it's so secure.
It's so.
Yeah. Anyways, and I think that's really about it. I had one of the things that got me to go back was I did have a really nice tilt charger, and I was sad not to be able to use it. So I can go back to using that. Brian, you send me some pucks, and my life, I am set.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you know. It's not going to be a big surprise. I did choose it because I do like Samsung products. I have the Tab 2, and I really enjoy that. So I'll do a review, but don't expect it to be really bad. And yes, I have to say that, my experience with the Z3 Compact did put me off mid-range phones because it certainly did not give me the performance I expected. So I would be hesitant to buy one of these ones.
I personally would not touch a compact phone from Sony personally. I would just go with the full-fledged flagship.
Yeah.
Mark's loving his Z5 Compact.
Yeah, but
he also loved the Z3 Compact,
Exactly.
so I think he just loves.
Did he have the Z3 Compact? Oh, his wife had the Z3 Compact, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I get the small hands thing. I have small hands, but yeah, no. So let's move on. Right after I saw that my phone was coming, and I get the nice fingerprint scanner, I see that the HTC One also has a home button and a fingerprint scanner associated with that. Is that what you're saying?
That's a fingerprint scanner in that home button. I mean, they wanted the thumbprint scanner, and it's kind of hard to just do thumbprint scanner, without putting it in a home button or something. Like there are some others that do different things, but I think that's why they got the button.
Which makes sense.
Which, I mean, and everybody's not looking at it going, this looks exactly like the iPhone 6.
Well, so does the Samsung phone. So
Yeah.
They all look
Apparently-
similar.
Yeah. How much variation can you have on a chocolate
slab button.
But yeah, so I was really interested about the A9. I mean, it came out at very mid-range specs, which is nice because it's not the M series, it's the A series. So it had to be different. So it's not top-end spec, but for most people they're going to run into, this is probably more than enough. But it's a little expensive at the top for that. It's $550 for top medium specs, but medium specs with the thumbprint scanner, which is kind of nice.
So is the thumbprint scanner also a home button, or is it just a thumbprint scanner?
It's a home button too.
Okay.
Yeah. So think like the OnePlus One or OnePlus 2 has it.
Yes.
What was really interesting about that I saw was, first off, they're being sold unlocked. Second off, they're being sold with a boot unlocker tool. So if
That's
you wanna
true.
unlock the boot, so that's cool. And then I think this is the cool thing. So this is where they're really going after the Android nerd factor.
Yeah.
These will be
You are
coming
already well disposed towards them.
2 weeks from the date Google drops the firmware. 2 weeks, it will be updated to the latest firmware. Nexuses across the board don't get that 2 weeks sometimes.
No, they get at least a month and a half.
Because it stays rollout system. So 2 weeks, and it's not just that it's AOSP. It's 2 weeks with Sense. So I think that's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, we have yet to see it.
I mean, if they can respect that timeline, good for them.
Yeah, that really sets the bar, doesn't it?
Yeah, because like we were talking about other companies that do really well at doing updates. Like LG's been really good at getting updates sooner. Samsung's been really good at making sure they apply all the updates available. Motorola's been pretty decent for the most part, usually slower, but decent. But if HTC can knock this in 2 weeks,
then that really puts the pressure on everybody else.
That puts pressure on everybody else to say, like, well, what the fuck are we doing if it takes them 2 weeks? Why can't we do this? So I think that's going to push it. I think the neat thing about it, the fact that it's unlocked, might give them a little more freedom to do that. And again, I like this movement of towards unlocked phones. So that's cool. We don't know when it's coming out. Like, it's in November-ish. So they haven't set a date yet.
And I have to say that I did have an update for my phone once I set it up, and it was already on 5.11. So they're doing more updates, probably security updates.
Yeah, and they promised monthly security updates, right? So, if I remember correctly, they had a thing in there saying, status software. It doesn't say here. Build numbers, software version. Doesn't say anymore. But I saw somewhere where it would say what monthly update or what monthly security update was version based off of you on the system now. But anyways, on and on.
Moving on, so we talked about me going away from Sony, and Martin said only get a Sony flagship, and if you're looking, you have a new opportunity. So tell us a bit about that, Martin.
Well, the Sony Xperia Z5 is going to be hitting stores on October 29th, and it's only going to be available at Bell. Like pretty much other releases for the Sony line, they've all been released through Bell. Rogers, Telus, and all the subsidiaries are not going to carry them. But if you're a Sony fan, and if, like Cass, you want to avoid the deception of a compact, do not touch a compact. Don't even look at it. I mean, for all I care, burn it if you want. Just go with the full-fledged flagship. You'll be much better. I mean, it will run you up at $650 outright, $200 on the plan. But you're getting a 5.2-inch screen, 1080p, the usual Snapdragon 810 core, 3 GB of RAM, 32 gigs of storage with micro SD. Kick-ass camera, by the way. Battery's a bit small in this one, 2900 mAh. I'm kind of not liking that. Fingerprint scanner, IP68, the usual stuff that we see.
I like the idea though where they put the fingerprint scanner. We talked about because the Samsung and they put it there. I'm a LG back button kind of guy, but they've decided to put it the power button on the side, which I didn't think there'd be enough space to get a thumbprint scanner there, but they did it. That seems like a really nice spot for it. Like, it just seems more ergonomic to have it here than to have it there personally. I like it back there, like the 5X and the 6P or the V.
Brian, here's the thing. The fingerprint scanner, I'll give you an example. Take a laptop. The fingerprint scanner is only a small little line that's about 1 millimeter.
Those are readers, though, right? Readers, you have to slide your finger across it.
You don't need to anymore.
Oh,
really?
They are
the same way. You just put your finger on it. It acts the exact same way. It reads your entire print. It doesn't need to have that big space.
Yeah, like, you don't scan your finger now with the
But it used to be because it used to be the ones before you had to swipe your finger down on the laptops, right? That's what they had the little bar.
Doesn't need it anymore.
Like a barcode reader.
That's almost like an infrared scan, and it pretty much acts the same way. So it's pretty instant. It's pretty cool.
That is that. I think that's the news for the week, guys.
I think so. And we seem to be like early.
That can't.
Yeah, I mean, that can't be. Just 5 minutes early.
You guys got anything? Did you vote?
Of course.
We all did.
Well, I'll tell you something that I found out. One of the things that changed this time round was that you couldn't vote unless you went to your polling station. And
is that normal?
no, actually, it used to be that you could vote anywhere. You just had to have ID, and you could.
Oh no, You had to go to your own polling station. Yes.
Some people were saying that they had voted at not their home polling station before.
Yeah. No. You could before, not anymore.
Right. So there's quite a few people that got caught by that. And part of that was probably because Elections Canada could not advertise because of change in election law. So it'll be interesting to see if the Liberals revoke that. There's quite a few things that they could just sort of turn around.
We'll have to see what the Liberal majority decides to do.
Were you guys expecting? We'll do 5 seconds of political commentary. Since everybody in the whole world is making commentary and it's not just about
True.
Trudeau's hair, were you expecting that kind of win?
Nope. Not even close.
I expected a minority, but
I expected a Liberal minority.
I didn't even expect a Liberal at all to exist.
Really? So what did you think it was going to be?
Because, like, I'd say a month prior, everything was orange everywhere.
Yeah, but they really dropped the ball, and I'm not a big follow the polls fan. I hate polls.
See,
right?
I don't follow polls because most of the time they're.
It's hard to tell whether they're.
See, the problem with the so-called polls that are running all over the place is they're all fake and they're all inflated. None of those numbers are accurate. Even if you look back at the numbers again that they have, none of them are accurate. They're way off base by almost a margin of 40%. So,
yeah, and there was. I really was. I thought that it'd be. That's why I thought it'd be a minority government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we saw Eastern Canada, that tsunami of a red wave over Eastern Canada.
Yeah, that was just unexpected as well. I mean,
I knew NDP were not going to cut as what I thought they would want. I kind of almost leaned that way, but I was surprised to see how NDP did as poorly as they did, and I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Watching Alberta, watching Alberta, that provincially, I know you're a blue state no matter what you guys do, but provincially orange, like, did something happen that they went like, oh, we're a provincial orange,
No.
better go fix that in the federal.
We were talking about that at work today, and like really,
It was like one riding in the whole province of orange.
the NDP got in because people were frustrated with the Conservatives, and I think just what happened is, you know how people think, oh, my one vote doesn't matter? Well, that's what everybody thought. Well, my one vote for the NDP won't matter, and yeah, it did. So they scurried back to voting Conservative.
Wow.
So yeah, because we were actually talking about that at home too. That's the only thing I could think of. Like, how can the same people vote NDP and Conservative? That's sort of like this
Two
far
opposite.
apart.
Yeah.
So
well.
yeah, it was interesting, and as you guys said, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes down.
Definitely.
Things don't. It takes a while for things to change. This is since I'm.
Well, let's put it this way. The Liberals definitely can't do worse than Harper. Trust me.
Well, and Canadians tend to be like that. And this was what I was kind of afraid of, the way that Harper was moving, that if they got in again, we wouldn't have the chance to have this democratic action where everybody votes and makes a change. Canada tends to do that every 10 years. And the way he was going with no elections Canada, soon I'm sure coming up was, oh, we'll be able to redraw the voting boundaries. It won't be up to a neutral body.
Exactly. It almost like it went through, was going towards a socialist.
A GOP.
Yeah, a GOP, but a socialist conservative with like no rights to the public or the people.
Yeah. So I think it was definitely time for a change. I'm not saying that he wasn't doing this. I'm sure he entered public service as a service, but
in the end,
his vision was definitely different than mine.
Yeah,
or something. I'm supposed to be conservative, and we're supposed to be going like this.
Yeah, he's not even close.
I'm just happy that I'm in a riding. Well, the two ridings for our city. That both ridings are aligned with the majority party, the leadership party. And that's gonna, I think, help our area.
Yeah, it does.
It's the big boys table now, right? So.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, we've been at the big boys table for 10 years, and it's time to step aside of it. Well.
Okay.
And speaking of stepping aside, I think it's time to say goodnight.
It is. Have a good night, folks. Have a good week.
Have a good rest of the week and a good weekend.
Ciao, everybody.